and I would leave the B-47 and go into B-58, that Mach 2 bomber made by General Electric and Lockheed Aircraft. So I spent about 3 years in that program, and that was in Indiana, Bunker Hill Air Force Base, Indiana. It was.
At that time, it was all stateside assignments?
Yeah,
Then your career got exciting.
What's that?
Your career got exciting a little bit after that.
Definitely, yeah. The B-58 was a Mach 2 bomber. And it was a very three-station.
Was it sustained Mach 2? Or that was the top speed to get away from stuff?
No, you could fly sustained at Mach 2 for about an hour. Then it would burn up all your gas.
Yeah.
Really went through the gas. But we had in-flight refueling, so we would do that 2 or 3 times a flight. Go to a refueling area and meet a tanker and get the required fuel that we needed. And I think, as I recall, the airplane would hold about 80,000 pounds, I think, if I remember.
Back then, that was a lot.
You betcha. Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of jet fuel, so we could really burn the skies up.
Well,
making all kinds of speed stuff.
Obviously, there's different kinds of jet fuel. It wasn't JP7 at the time. It was probably JP4.
JP4,
I'm
yeah.
guessing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then my next assignment, I had made some big points in B-47s as a navigator and very accurate bombing. Did really well in B-47s.
The government liked your stats, apparently.
Definitely, yeah. And then in the B-58, I continued the same type environment, a bombing environment.
Now, was that stateside, or did you go on some...
No, I was stateside.
Okay.
Always in the States. I didn't actually get overseas until I was in the SR-71.
How was that application process for becoming a crew member in the SR-71s?
Well, it was much more, what's the right word? You had to have 2,000 hours of navigator experience. But all this was after I was in it for a while. We started out in the program initially at Edwards Air Force Base, testing the airplane, because we really had no idea what its capabilities were.
So you came in at the ground level of the SR-71s then?
Yep. I was in the initial cadre of troops for the SR.
So you worked at Palmdale as well?
Yeah. Palmdale and Edwards. They were right next to each other. And then after about 3 years in the B-58, I decided I was going to try and get into the SR. I had read about it in that little magazine that come out of the Air Force, and they talked about the SR-71 and the unbelievable capabilities of the airplane. It would be an overseas type deal, Okinawa, Savannah, Georgia, or California.
There was
Beale Air Force Base.
There was a guy named Kelly Johnson Can you tell me a little bit about that man?
Kelly was the original designer of the airplane, and he worked at Skunk Works in California.
Did you ever have any interaction with him?
Yeah. And then his predecessor was, hey Jan?
What
Can you remember the name of the guy that,
was before Kelly?
yeah, no, after Kelly. Kelly died,
Oh,
and then this guy took over. And he was the one that I knew really well.
yeah, but right now he wants to talk about Kelly.
Well, Kelly was a real aviation genius, is what we called Kelly. Fantastic.
So your first assignment overseas was at Okinawa?
Well, yeah, after the initial assignment was Beale Air Force Base, Northern California.
Yuba City, California.
Yep. I spent 7 years there. That's why I retired from the Air Force.
What years were you stationed at Beale?
I was stationed at Beale, let's see, I guess I retired in 1974. So 7 years prior to that is when I started my period at Beale. But prior to that I was at Edwards in the SR-71 for 2 years. And that's where we did all the testing on the airplane.
One thing I can say is I'm proud to say that we wore the same uniform, and I was stationed at Beale as well.
Oh, were you?
In 1979.
You're kidding.
No, I was in civil engineering over there, and to get in those hangars where those SRs were, you had to have a pretty high clearance, and my clearance was secret, so I didn't get to go in there.
I'll be darned. Huh.
They had to have
That's
a top secret
interesting.
clearance
I
just
had
to
no
change a door
idea.
lock.
That you were at Beale.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a great assignment. I really enjoyed it.
Beautiful base.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was the shortest assignment in my Air Force career.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was only there 7 months.
Yeah. Unreal.
But from Beale you went TDY, or did you go PCS over to Okinawa?
TDY. We would go for 2 to 3 months.
Can you tell me some of the places you went on some of the sorties that you flew?
You know, we would fly either local or we would fly missions, training missions, or navigational missions where we would go down to right around the border of North Korea or down to Vietnam. We would fly, enter in South Vietnam and fly up to North Vietnam, right over Hanoi.
And they had no idea you were there.
No,
What altitude were you flying at?
above 80.
Above 80,000?
Yeah,
What was the ceiling of that plane, that the capability of it?
much less than what you would think. It was the highest I ever flew was, I think it was 86,000, if I remember right. But it could go higher.
For emergencies or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and the fastest you've flown in it?
Mach 3.
I think some aviators have gone up to Mach 3.4. And I don't know how
I'm really
to.
not aware of that speed. I do remember Mach 3, 3.3.
Now, how fast is that in miles per hour? Do you know?
Yeah, it's about, well, I want to say 2,350
Wow.
approximately.
And I think that's faster than a bullet, isn't it?
Some bullets, yeah. The B-47, when I'm getting off track again. I'm on the SR now. Think SR, you little fart.
So you flew over North Korea, North Vietnam.
Yeah,
How How about Russia?
No. We would fly alongside Russia, but we were not doing overflights.
Was that from the Pentagon saying they
Yeah.
don't need it?
Mhm.
Or
Yep. We were directed by SAC headquarters.
but at that point, flying that high, you could see pretty clear into Russia, a long distance.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Long ways.
And how good and accurate were these cameras that were on these planes?
Extremely accurate. You could, let me think about that part of it for a minute.
Because you're up flying at average at 80,000 feet,
Yeah,
more than twice the height of a commercial airplane.
right.
Somewhere it said that you could read license plates on the photos from that high.
You could. Yep. Extremely accurate.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We would land and then we'd come out and get all the camera equipment, take it off and develop the cameras and be very, very impressed with what they seen. As a navigator, I really did not get much into the development of the cameras. We just turned them off and on, did all that
You
sort
took
of
the pictures and turned them over to somebody else, the analysts.
Yep, right.
Right, and that was top secret as well
Yeah.
back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned a lot of information.